Hello, everybody. We're here with another one. I took a little bit of a break to get food and watch some YouTube and stuff. Actually, probably a bit too long of a break. It's been like an hour and a half, damn near. But who cares, you know? But we're here now. And I think I'm gonna upload some of the videos. If I get to a point where I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do any more commentating tonight, I might just upload what I got, so that way I can get this series rolling. And then while it's uploading, I can still try and fix my controller stuff, because it's not like I need to play the game, because it's just figuring out the Bluetooth stuff, but yeah, this episode, the last 10 minutes of this episode is going to be the Master Sword trials. And you're probably wondering, wait, only 10 minutes? What? You'll see. Some of you probably, just by the time limit alone, probably have an idea of what's about to happen, but you'll see. I'm excited to commentate the Master Sword trials. That's gonna be fun. But I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. What series I want to do, like separate from AVP 2 and AVP 2010 and Conviction. I don't know. You know, I've been considering doing Mass Effect, if only because with Mass Effect like Mass Effect I enjoy. I've played the hell out of it, like quite a bit. And like between the original trilogy and then the remaster, I mean, it's easily been 600 hours minimum. And then Andromeda is like another 100 just in one playthrough, because I've only ever done one playthrough of Andromeda. I want to come back to it because I love Andromeda. I actually think it's my second, even though I've only played it one time, it is like my second favorite Mass Effect next to Mass Effect 2. And I know there's probably at least one person that's like, you've played the trilogy collectively about 600 hours, yet you've only played Andromeda one time, even though it was like 100 hours playthrough, but still. It's like, well, yeah, because Andromeda, as awesome as it was, is awesome for a different reason. Like, you know, but like Andromeda was more of, like, yes, there was an enemy, but you know what I mean? It's more of a case of, I don't know how to explain it. Like with Andromeda, what it really came down to was, I mean, the enemy was alright, but it kind of felt like a reskin of the Reapers in a sense, with their, you know, exaltation, I believe it was, you know, but it just like, you know, the concept was really good, and you know, the galaxy, like the Andromeda galaxy, we're in a new galaxy, but we're only in a small cluster, and the cluster was fairly decently sized, and I know the Andromeda galaxy is supposed to be bigger than the Milky Way, even in real life, so it's like, you know, there was some massive potential there with that, and like the Angara, getting introduced to the Angara, and just like there was a lot of potential there, and I really appreciated its focus on the exploration, because like more so than because let's be honest, like Mass Effect 1, more so than any of the Mass Effects, not including Andromeda, like 2 and 3, was more exploration based. Because let's be honest, the main story of the first game was like, what, 5, not including Eden Prime, and then the main mission with Fist at the Citadel. There was like, what, 5 missions total throughout the whole game, and even on Insanity, especially if you already had, like experience and you knew what you were doing, like you could probably get through, like you could get through the game in about 10 hours. Like you know, like it was a short game. Like you played it for the side missions. Not to say that Mass Effect 2 and 3 didn't have a pretty fair amount of side missions, but the main story was considerably longer too. But like there was actual proper exploration. Like the side missions in 2 and 3, there wasn't really any exploration. It was very linear. But with 1, like you got the Mako, you drove around, you looked for survey minerals and stuff. Yes, considering it was 2008 at the time, you know, it was kind of bland and basic, but still, like that's what you were doing, you know? You were exploring, you know, the Milky Way. And like it took that, and like I liked Andromeda because it took that concept and really emphasized it. Like, not to say that there isn't still a story and a bad guy to deal with, but like with the mining and like the crafting system, because like you're in a new galaxy, you're trying to, you know, like I know there's a lot of people that give it shit, and I know there's probably a lot of Zelda fans that might happen to be Mass Effect fans that are watching this, and it's like, what the fuck, you like Andromeda? Yeah, I think Andromeda, not to say that it was a perfect game, because it wasn't. There was still a number of things that it could have done a bit better. But then again, you can say that about anything. Like, when you get down to the nitty gritty, you can say that about a lot of things, you know? So that's kind of like a, okay, what's your point? So, you know, but that's just kind of my thing. Is like, I just really appreciated the exploration. I like the jump jets, and it was just, like I said, the new species were cool, but you also had the old species, except for the Quarians. I'm still pissed that, like I saw a lot of potential in Andromeda, like because that's the thing that for me personally, like, oh yeah, the dragon, yeah, this is cool. But like for me personally, like I understood why people had a lot of criticisms of Andromeda, but it felt like it was a bit too much. Like, and like shortly after it came out with all the criticisms, they basically stopped supporting the game, and it's like, you know, and we don't get that Quarian Arc DLC, and it's one of those things where it's like, if we just bit the bullet for a little while longer, we probably could have got that DLC. There could have been some good story there, and we probably could have got a sequel to Andromeda that actually would have been worth it, you know? Like, maybe the first game, you know, regardless of your opinion, might have been a bit like, but the second game could have really knocked it out of the park, you know? Like you never know. But now we're getting a Mass Effect 4, which I don't understand how the hell they're gonna do that. I will be 100% honest. I am super skeptical of number 4 with how 3 ended. I don't know how they're gonna do the Milky Way. I don't know how they're gonna make that work. Do I think it's possible they can make it work? I mean, sure. I mean, anything's possible when you have a really, really good creative writing team that are passionate and have a lot of love for the franchise, and they can have really create, like, not to say that it ain't possible. There could very well be a case of like a really amazing story that comes out of this, but again, you never know. So it's just one of those things for me where I can't help but be a tad skeptical. But yeah, but like Andromeda, like, is my favorite next to 2 because it there was a lot of Mass Effect 1 in it, and in a sense, like in terms of the exploration and everything. And it just, there was a lot of potential there that I personally saw, and that was kind of what made me interested and really hooked me, and why I played it for 100 hours and 100%ed it my first go, is because I really liked the idea of Andromeda, like, in just the characters at like the places, and just like Drax and all of them. Like, it was good. I really think that it's underrated, if I'm using that term correctly. Like, it is better than what people think, in my honest opinion. I know there's a lot of people that probably give it crap, but I think it's amazing. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about Andromeda, I'm thinking about, like, what could have been. And then, you know, everyone in the community was just like, nah, this game sucks. And then EA went, you know what, fine, we're not gonna support it then if you guys don't like it. Which, like, I blame the community. I really do. I mean, like I said, I understand criticism, and like, you should criticize things, you know, constructively. But I also feel like there was probably a good section of the fan base that didn't criticize it constructively. They went overboard. For some reason, for reasons I understand, because like, there's a lot of, especially at release, there was a lot of issues, but they got patched. And playing the game like post-patch, because I didn't play it until like a year or so later, after a lot of the patches were out. Like, I get why people had issues with it at first, but it's like, after the patches, like, I had like no real significant issues. All the issues got resolved with free patches, which I know, which again, I know a lot of people, like Angry Joe, for example, are like, you know, like, we shouldn't just, you know, abide by these live service games, and they just kind of, you know, piece it together over time. You know, you want a good game at the start for your $60 pre-order or whatever. Like, I get that 100%. And I do agree with that, you know, but that also doesn't mean that, you know, we should be like overly tough. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm having a hard time figuring out how I want to convey how I feel about Andromeda. Like, on one hand, I get it, why people were so upset and why they were vocal about it, but then it's like, all of those things were easily patchable, and I don't know. I didn't know this guy existed until this playthrough on Master Mode. I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of stumbled across him and went, oh, this is cool. Yeah, I didn't own a horse for everything up to this point. I don't even know how many hours, but whatever. But yeah, moral of the story here is, like, yeah, this is the first time I've went inside the castle area. Mostly because I was going for the shrine inside, and then I think I did take out some guardians since I was already in. Yeah, but from this point forward, I actually hunted the guardians in the castle like every blood moon, like, not just the outskirts. So 4 blood moons later, but you know. but yeah, Andromeda is a weird thing. Like, I get the criticism why so many people were royally upset, but despite all of its issues, like, I saw great potential and I was excited for the DLC and everything, and apparently a lot of other people weren't, and it's disappointing. I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority, but oh well, that's just how it is. Sorry, I'm just focusing on the fight as well. But yeah, I want to do a Mass Effect series for all 4 of them, like Andromeda included, because I really enjoyed the Mass Effect universe and just everything. Mass Effect being a long game though, I'd probably have to do it in like hour increments, at least, if not 2 hours, because especially if I want to show everything and not do what I did in this series where I skipped a bunch of content. But then again, Mass Effect doesn't have a lot of travel time. Like, Mass Effect, you're pretty much constantly doing something. It's not like, oh, I'm fast traveling to this place and then getting a scale from a dragon. Well, that's easy and kind of boring for anyone who actually has played the game and knows that's, you know. Or just riding a horse to to the next shrine, you know. And again, Majora's Mask, I'm not fighting. You know, like, there's a lot of, you know, pointless things that you record that you just get rid of, you know. But Mass Effect, not so much. Like all of them, you're constantly doing something, unless you're at the Citadel, but or Ilium or something, like, you know, shopping for some, you know, upgrades. But even then, that don't take that long. So Mass Effect would probably be a bit different. But then again, well, I was gonna say, but then again, if you're playing on Insanity, you know. Yeah, it probably would be best, like, you know, you might die a lot, but then thinking about it, Insanity and Mass Effect, at least for me, and it's partially because I've beaten it multiple times on Insanity and I'm just used to it, but Insanity on Mass Effect is not that hard. Like, the Mass Effect 1 on the Legendary Edition, for some reason, Insanity felt way easier than it did in the original game. Mass Effect 2 and 3 on Insanity felt about the same, maybe slightly more difficult. I don't know what they tweaked, but not aggressively. So, like, I don't see myself dying a whole lot, you know, if I did it on Insanity, which would be more fun because the combat would actually be worthwhile watching rather than on easy. You're just breezing through everyone, right? You know, you get that combat and then you get the cutscenes, you know. I want to do it eventually, I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. I might just commit to just, you know, recording it, just live, you know, live commentary, live everything. Well, maybe. I mean, I could do post commentary, you know, like this, so that way I don't get distracted by my gameplay, because on Insanity, you know, focusing on the gameplay really obviously improves said gameplay. So I don't know. I don't know what I would do at this point in time if I did record the game, but we'll see eventually, right? I've sped this up a little bit, but this annoyed me. I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb. Because here's what, because this is actually one of the few sections, because like I said, a lot of this I recorded like a week or so in advance, you know, right? And I'm just now getting around to the commentary. But I feel so stupid, because as you saw, like, I could have just grabbed it real quick. It only would have taken me a second. But for some reason in my mind, you know, when I saw the beam disappear, I thought, oh, it disappeared because of the blood moon, which is not how it works. But in that heat of the moment, for some reason, that's what I thought. So I feel stupid because at that current point in time, I needed that star fragment, so it was very annoying. But oh well, it happened. You know, because I was so hasty, because obviously when I got the travel medallion earlier, and that was the big thing that was keeping me from doing the sword trials, which you'll see here in a minute, was because I needed the travel medallion for something very specific that, again, you're about to see here in a few minutes. But I didn't want to have to keep track of the blood moons and blah blah blah, you know, because I needed to be on that platform basically naked to get the shrine to come up, right? So I just put a travel medallion there. And yeah, so just, yeah, it was dumb. I feel really stupid. I really should have just took the 2 seconds because I had plenty of time, but I was panicking. I was like, you know, the blood moon cutscene's gonna happen, and if it happens, the blood moon will disappear, because after, you know, Zelda does the link, you know, the fallen demons, you know, the blood, you know, you get the point. So I was trying to make sure I was there to get the shrine, but got too hasty and screwed myself out of a star fragment, which, you know, it happens to the best of us. It's very annoying at that point in time, though. And after I summoned the shrine, I actually went back over there, back to Mount Lanayru, where I flew in from, and tried to see if it was still there, and I couldn't see it. And I don't think it disappeared. I think it's just because I was already there and I spawned it. Like, the beam was gone, but then the fact that I spawned it properly and then teleported on the complete other side of the map and then came back, like, you know, so I had to do 2 load screens. It probably disappeared, or if it didn't, I just couldn't remember exactly where it was, and by the time I found it, it probably would have disappeared right before I got it anyway because of the time, I guess. I don't know. But I just kind of gave up on that star fragment, which sucked, but oh well, unfortunately. It was a sad, sad day for me in that moment. Sad, sad times. But now we can start the sword trial process. And by process, I mean I glitched the fuck out of this sword trial. And you got, so, we're doing it. So I took a snapshot, like a freeze frame of this. Because that's where you want to be. Yeah, so about right here is where I put the travel medallion. And then I did another shrine because I realized that I was pretty close to one. Yep. And then I went down to get a treasure chest. Because I was looking, and then I saw that, and I'm like, yeah, there's gotta be one. Should have got the chest first, but oh well. Chest wasn't worth it, but naturally you gotta check. You never know. Or maybe you do know because you have the memory of a god and you just remember every chest and every shrine, which if you do, wow, you are a literal legend. I don't know why, but I just like to do that when I'm waiting. Don't ask why. I don't know. Oh, another series I want to do a Let's Play on, Final Fantasy X and X-2. That would be fun. Yeah, but I would like to do it on PC. because I already have a playthrough start. Well, no, I think I have a playthrough started on PC as well, but I know I have one started on my PlayStation 4. But I don't know if they fixed the green screen cutscene issue with the PC version of Final Fantasy, because I know that there was problems with cutscenes, and well, you know what? I might just make an effort to play 10 and 10.2 and make a save file and just, like, you know what I mean, and test it and see if there's still issues in that regard. And if there is, I might just have to just play it on the PS4, which won't be that big of a deal. I got a capture card for a reason. But yeah, that's where you need to go. So you put the travel medallion where I placed it, and then you come over here to this archery camp. And I did it like 2 or 3 times and screwed this glitch up. But this should be the successful one. I sped it up a little bit, but not too terribly much to where you can't see what's going on. I probably could have sped this part up a little bit, but yeah, about the 15-second mark. Yeah, you want to soothe it, but you don't want to go too fast and tame it. Your goal is to kind of just, yeah. This is how you know you did it correctly. And as soon as you're done talking to the guy, the very moment you're able to go to the map, you go to the map. And that should happen. And of course I'm going to test it real quick. Yep, we got the moon jump glitch active. And so I'm showing you what you need to do. This is, if you're on normal mode, these guys will die in one hit to a bomb. So getting to where you're gonna do the clipping glitch here in a minute is a lot easier in normal mode than it is on master mode, but you just need to get through this room and then clear out the next room, and then that's it. I tried doing this at a friend's house on normal mode, but I skipped a step. I did everything that you've seen up to this point, with the exception of putting the travel medallion, yeah, I didn't put the travel medallion. Yeah, because what I did at my friend's house is I did the beginner trials legit with no glitches, no moon jump glitch, and then my friend was like, you know what, just glitch through it, because I can see that, you know, this is a hassle, and because they wanted to do it legit at first, but they think they're pretty bad at the combat, and so they just wanted me to do it for them, which I get. You know, you want to try and do things legit, but then it's like, if you're not doing it, did you really do it legit? But again, everyone has their own mindset about it, which I get and I respect that. But I did the beginner trials, and then I decided to go to the archery range and do the horse jump glitch, but I only had 2 stamina bars instead of 3, which I don't know if that was an issue, but I managed to activate the moon jump glitch. But then when I started middle trials, it didn't work. Like, what I was supposed to do in middle trials, which you'll see here in a little bit, didn't work. And so apparently I guess you have to do the whole Master Sword trials. Yeah, I guess you have to do beginner, middle, and the end trials, you know. Like, you gotta do it in order. Like, you can't just, I don't know what it was, but it didn't work. But this is what it should look like if you did it properly. If you didn't, because, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, some clipping glitches. Yeah. So this is how you know you did it right. Right here. This is sped up, I think, times 10, because the amount of time it takes you to get to the sword room is kind of insane. Like, you come down here, and then you just moon jump as high as you can. Because right there in front of you is obviously where the Master Sword is. So basically, when you fall off the cliff, like you just saw a second ago, you just keep moon jumping up and you keep going forward. But you need to make sure you get fairly high before you start going forward, because I made the mistake in middle trials where I didn't let myself get high enough. I started moving forward, and then once you get within a certain range of this room, you know, you end up falling because I wasn't high enough. Like, it registered I was below the fall line. Yeah, it's weird. But in middle trials, when I fell off the first floor, like you just saw, on normal mode at my friend's house, it just spawned me back on the platform and not out here, which is stupid. But yeah, in middle trials, since you don't have to do a clipping glitch, you'd fall off the thing and then you just go to the Master Sword room. Just make sure you get fairly high. The final trials, there's two ways you can do it. You can either go to room 6, I believe, the break room, and drown yourself, or you can do a clip glitch in room 1. I struggled for a long time to do the clipping glitch for beginner trials, so I was trying to get to room 6. But eventually, after numerous deaths that you're seeing right now, I gave up. I went, you know what, let's just go for the clip glitch. Just numerous deaths later. So yeah, this is the clip glitch. It didn't go in exactly the way I wanted it to, but it still worked, and you'll see in a second, because I got stuck. Hey, see, I got stuck. Like, it was a really weird thing. I don't know what happened, but I just got stuck, and then I moved a little bit, and then I somehow ended up drowning, which worked out. It's what I needed. And then I teleported out. And same thing as before. You fall off, and then make sure you jump high enough to where you don't fall when you get close to the Master Sword room. And then same thing, you just go there and grab the sword, and there it is. And that's the end. That's the end of the video. I don't understand what I did wrong when I tried to do it with my friend. When I tried to do this with my friend, I don't know if it's the fact that I didn't do the travel medallion thing where I put it on that snowy mountain area and traveled to that and then the Korok forest and then did the trials, or if it's the fact that I did beginner trials legit instead of glitching it and then you know, and going straight into middle trial. Like, I don't know. Those are really the only two things I can think of that I done different. That and the fact that I only had 2 stamina bars instead of a full 3 stamina bars. So that must be what the issue was. I don't know. It was got to be one of those 3, but yeah, that's what it looks like if you do it right. I didn't have any of the trials complete, so I don't know if having any of them complete is a factor as well. I don't know. But there you go, full power Master Sword. There we go. And now that's the end of the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody.